Wales and England, folks, that was a weird end to a game. I mean, it finishes 19 points to 17. England get the job done. Well done, England. But Owen Farrell gets a red card. There's about 5 yellow cards in this game. And at times, it was bloody awful. But the end of the game was getting the crowd involved. But we'll go through some key events and stats, and you guys can let us know your thoughts. I got out of bed at 4:30 for this one, and I was not too pleased with what I saw early on. I mean, it's a warm-up game. There's huge changes to the squad, so it's maybe to be expected. But I've had pretty good luck recent times when I've been crawling out of bed and the value has been pretty high. This was low value early, like I said, but it's one that finishes with a bit of drama, so maybe you forget about the first half. I mean, Arundell knocks it on early in the aerial battle with Liam Williams. He looks to have taken a knock, but he's all right. Wales are under a heap of pressure with all the English kicks that are coming through. Wales conceded a couple of penalties. I think Taine Plumtree gave away one at the breakdown, and then they were offside. So 3-0 to England early. They opt for the 3. And Wales are having to do a couple of goal line dropouts. They're under the pump, but they're holding on. Like, England aren't really looking like genuinely scoring, which has been a little bit of an issue under Steve Borthwick, but they've certainly got Wales under pressure. Wales's first real attacking chance is a maul when they opt for touch from a penalty, and England shut it down straight away. So there's not a heck of a lot going on. And then there's like there's one series of plays which kind of epitomizes the first half. Like, Wales win a scrum penalty, but then they lose the line-out, and geez, Wales's line-out was awful in this game. Genuinely awful. Probably cost them the game if I was going to point to any one thing. So yeah, they win a scrum penalty, but they lose the line-out, and then Poortvliet for England kicks it out on the full, and then when Wales have got the possession from that, they knock it on. So it is just error upon error upon error upon error. And there's a couple of injuries as well, which don't help things. Daly goes off injured, and Poortvliet also goes off injured. So fingers crossed both of those guys aren't too serious with the World Cup on the horizon. Arundell gives away a dumb yellow card when he tackles Liam Williams after Liam Williams has made a mark and goes for a tap. So Arundell needed to retreat back, but he didn't. He didn't leave him alone. So that's a bit of bad news for England. And Wales persists with the attacking maul, but they get shut down. So Wales, despite the man advantage, can't really get anything from it. There's a weird moment where Wales look to have advantage when the ref kind of pings England at the breakdown. And Wales go like one phase, and then Billy V gets over the ball, and the ref's like, yep, that's an English penalty. So that was a bit bizarre because his arm was literally out that way and then out that way, unless I'm kind of missing something. But usually advantages go more than one phase. But yeah, England do manage to get one more penalty right before half-time. They've kind of got Wales on the ropes. Wales have got a yellow card warning, so you're thinking maybe England go for the jugular. It's a warm-up game. You don't need to practice Owen Farrell's goal kicking. You could practice your maul or some kind of set play, but no, they go for the 3 points, and it's 6 points to 0 at half-time. England certainly the better of the two teams. I mean, run meters 196 to 98. Possessions 57% England. They've had 20 kicks from hand to 10. They're putting Wales on the back foot often. Start of the second half, that yellow card warning that Wales have got still applies, and Reffell gets pinged for hands on the floor, so England opt for another 3. It's 9 points to 0, but then England concede their own penalty, so Wales are able to get themselves on the board with a 3 of their own, which is sensible during a yellow card because you need to kill a minute. So it's 9 points to 3. Taine Plumtree must have had grease on his hands in the first half, and I swear he gets taken out by friendly fire. I don't want to say it's deliberate, but maybe they wanted him off the pitch. Jeez, he was making a lot of mistakes. He must have dropped the ball 3-4 times, including from the restart after that penalty. So it puts his team under a bit of pressure, but he doesn't last much longer. And then the biggest cheer of the game, genuinely, up until this point, on 49 minutes, is when Earl has to get his shirt off and change because some issue with his original shirt. So 49 minutes, Earl, it reminds me of Sonny Bill Williams back in 2011 when he took his shirt off and the whole crowd was just ogling his abs. That's the biggest cheer of the game, which kind of speaks to the game maybe not being that flash. It's been pretty quiet. However, the final half an hour is pretty nuts. I mean, the Reffell yellow card is over Wales didn't concede any points. They managed to kick 3, so that's a bit of a win. Their line-out's still struggling, but then the yellow cards start coming. Genge gets yellow carded. He's come on to a big chair for his 50th cap, but he gets yellow carded for overleaning at the scrum. And then during the yellow card, Wales's forwards go close, and eventually Bigger, who's come on, he puts in a pinpoint accurate cross kick to Josh Adams. He grabs it in the air, but then he gets taken out by Freddie Steward in the air. So they review that, and Freddie Steward indeed gets yellow carded. They wanted to check if Liam Williams from the take had managed to pick up the ball and ground it, but no, he's knocked it on over the line. So that means it's a penalty try anyway. So it's a penalty try and it's a yellow card. So Wales are suddenly in front, 9 points to 10, and England are down to 13 men. While England are down to 13 men, Owen Farrell's tackling technique once again gets put under the spotlight. And it is the stereotypical, pretty much carbon copy of, like, what was that one back in the day? Owen Farrell on Esterhazen, which didn't get red carded. Like, it's just that one where he just pumps his shoulder into the guy's head. He does it to Taine Basham this time. Like, bro, how many times have we seen that tackle from Owen Farrell? Way too many. He's got issues with that. It's a flaw in his game. He's too old to correct it. So they give him the initial yellow card, put it under review, and he gets recarded eventually. And it's the right call, man. You can't be tackling like that. So with the World Cup coming, he's going to get a ban. He's going to have to go to tackling school. Has he done tackling school again before to reduce his ban? I don't know how many games he's going to get, but he's got a history of it, so that's going to count against him. But pretty bad. So yeah, he gets carded. So there's 3 of them. There's 3 English guys on the sideline. They are literally down to 12 guys. And can Wales score with a 3-man advantage? They can, despite their line-out, not because of their line-out. Their line-out gets lost. England hoof it downfield, but with a 3-man advantage, funnily enough, Wales are able to find the space. Joe Roberts with the big line break. Thomas Williams support line. So it's 16 points to 9. And they got 3-man advantage. Surely Wales are going to see this one out. Well, no. This is where the English crowd, I really think, gave their team a bit of a boost, because they had been quiet for the majority of this game, and potentially rightly so. On 67 minutes, Wales concede a penalty from the restart. It's Laws who wins it at the breakdown. England this time obviously got to chase the game, so they go for touch. They go for a maul, and despite having only 12 players on the pitch, Itoje is able to go over for England's only try of the game. England, as I said, have not been scoring many tries under Poortvliet, but with 12 men, they managed to do it. So a great maul try for them. That makes it, proper game on. And then England go close again. They could have got one through Marchant in the corner with a cross kick, but he loses it forward, but back for a penalty anyway, which forward is able to kick. And it's 19 points to 17. Adam Baird gets pinged for just, what was his one? Offside? Too many penalties from Wales, and he gets yellow carded. So the game does finish 14-14, but that's a pretty good comeback from England, man. To score with 12 guys, to score twice in that kind of, final stanza of the game, it's pretty good. But overall, the game was pretty ugly. Way too many errors. Like Wales's line out, if I can get to some stats for you, was 11 from 17. That's real bad. I mean, England's was 8 from 8. That was fine. It was Wales's turn to have the dropsies this time. Turnovers conceded was 11 to 14. Of those 14, Taine, Plumtree must be 5, I would say. He was pretty bad, sadly, for him. But he's injured anyway, so maybe his selection hasn't taken a hit there. But run meters 377 to 349. Possession 55-45, both of those in favour of England. Territory 62-38. And in the second half, 72-28 in favour of England. 31-17 is the kicks from hand. And honestly, part of that's just the line-out. Wales just couldn't win a line-out, man. It was bad. But, yellow cards 3-2. That's a lot. Penalties conceded 12 apiece is a little bit too high. Weird game, man. The Farrell situation is obviously the biggest talking point. What's going to happen there? But we do need to not forget that England came back. and got themselves a pretty good win. So if they can kind of bottle that feeling, show a bit of mettle, then maybe things aren't too doomy and gloomy. Lawrence, 64 metres, a clean break and 5 defenders beaten. Certainly looks one of the better attacking threats for England. Ben Earl, man of the match, 50 metres and 8 from 9 tackles. Liam Williams for Wales looked pretty solid, although one of those knock-ons from a kick ended up costing them, but still overall he was solid. 76 metres, a clean break and 2 defenders beaten. Dan Lydiate, 17 from 17 tackles for the veteran, but yeah, interesting times for both sides. Certainly the rest of the Rugby World Cup's not looking at this game shaking in their boots, I would imagine, but that's why the warm-up matches are there, to shake off this kind of rust. Wales, get your line out better. England certainly didn't have the case of the dropsies that they had last week, but the discipline maybe needs to be a bit better. Some decision-making needs to be a bit better. But anyway, you guys let us know your thoughts on this one, and I am off to watch Scotland head over to France. You guys take care, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.